We now officially have a Haruki Murakami playlist. I read Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage by Haruki Murakami in 2018. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I wrote this about it after reading. This is a bit different than the other Murakami books I've read in that it's much more rooted in reality than the abstract. It still touches upon fantastic, dark stories that infer deep metaphor, but the particular asides in this book are explained by frames of dreams and storytelling that is internal to the characters. Because of this, Tsukuru may be a good starting point for readers that haven't yet experienced the trippy surrealism of Murakami's other books. The timing for me reading this seems a bit supernatural too. In it, Tsukuru needs to uncover the reasons that led to a brutally difficult abandonment in his past so that he can fully embrace a healthy and productive future. But it's a doozy, and it's not easily exercised. His search takes him on a great journey of emotion, confusion, geography, and self-reflection. This is a great story for people that want to confront the past and open their hearts to move forward. Being human is hard. This book reminds the reader that it's hard for everyone, in sometimes very different ways. It connects me to the message of not being too judgmental with people, because most of us are fighting terrible battles that the rest of the world cannot see. We're all in this life together. For me, this book is a story of that rediscovery. 2018 was an interesting year. It's the year after my mom died, going through my divorce at this time. It was really hard, and this was a very interesting book to read during that period. It's about abandonment. It's about disconnection. It's about feeling separate from really the closest people in your life. I think it's interesting that I talk about how this is different than the trippy surrealism of Murakami's other books. I've talked about Dance, Dance, Dance earlier in this, and Hard-Boiled Wonderland and The End of the World, and they're really connected to that sort of what I like to call abstract fiction. This book in particular felt so different than any other Murakami book that I've read. I also read The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, and those books, while they do have real-life storylines, they are very open to surreal departures from those storylines. This book is much more about the difficulty and it's not too strong to say, the psychosis that happens when you feel disconnected from some of the most important people in your life. I love Murakami's writing, and I think the simple way that he uses symbols comes through in so much of this book in particular, when he talks about Tsukuru being colorless and why he is colorless in comparison to all of the friend connections in his life that have words about colors in their names. It becomes a symbol for the way that he is interacting with his life and the way that he is separate and abandoned and trying to reconnect. This one is a very real struggle. It's a very real struggle for this character. I definitely recommend it, but it is intense reading and it is different than other Murakami books. I like thinking of it here as a good starting point for readers. My first one was The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, and I was beautifully confused through much of it because of how strange it is, how off it is from reality, which I enjoy. But if that's something that takes a leap for you, then I would suggest that this one, Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage, might be a great place to start because it's rooted in the real, but also showcases what Murakami can do in terms of dreams and dark understandings that eventually turn into great metaphors that show up in his writing in other books. I remember pushing through the hard and dark parts here to get to the lesson that I talk about at the end of this review, realizing that we're all in this together and that we're all dealing with difficult things. It's a great lesson to take away from this book in your social groups, in your families, different collections of all the people that matter to you in your life. This one is Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage by Haruki Murakami. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads.